name is Sophia Relosa. Thank you for visiting my vlog today. And today I'll be discussing two topics. It's the difference between the long-term and the short-term Feng Shui. And I'll also discuss what is the monthly flying stars for this month. Okay. So what's the difference between the long-term flying stars as compared to the short-term flying stars? Okay, every time a household or a building is actually built, meron na siyang sarili niyang natal chart. Okay, it's gonna be there permanently regardless of the period that comes in. So the flying stars, it's ranges per corner or per sector. Okay, so there's 1, 8, so on and so forth. So basically, yan yung may sarili siyang flying stars ang isang building. Now, the moment the flying stars for the annual comes in, it affects the movement or the relationship of the flying stars. So, which is why there are different effects nangyayari sa life natin in the process when we live a certain year. Sometimes there are years that are good, sometimes there are years that are bad. And it's because of the effect of the annual flying stars. But if your natal or your long-term Feng Shui is actually good and your environment actually supports that natal chart, the good effects of the Feng Shui is manifested the moment the annual flying star comes in. Now, if on the other hand, if hindi maganda ang natal chart ng inyong property, or say the environment doesn't support it, or there are sachi like pylons and so on and so forth, pagka pumasok yung annual flying star, which is the 5, and affects a certain sector, magmamagnify yung ill effect. It may make sense. So which is why it's actually important to actually know yung annual flying stars much more yung natal chart. So it helps you understand kung ano ang long-term effect for you and your family when you live in that household. Okay, so yan. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to talk about the monthly flying stars for June 7 to August 7. Okay, so you can activate these sectors, yung mga good sectors, so that if you want to look for inspiration and so forth. Okay, so the good sectors for the month is west and northeast and east. Okay? So, ano yung effect na pwedeng mangyari if you activate these sectors? For the west, if you would like to increase your monetary or better financial foothold, you activate the west. Okay? In my case, what I do is I exercise in the west sectors, especially at a specific hour, to help me find creative ideas in how to actually improve my financial foothold. Okay, so next naman for the northeast, this is actually a good sector if there are projects that you, especially for properties and or real estate, and you would like to have a significant change that's good for you, you can actually use the northeast. Or if you are like me, who's a blogger and looking for inspiration or basically inspiration, I sit in that area. Okay, so I use the northeast. And then the east, on the other hand, this one, I have cue cards here with me para hindi ko makalimutan. Okay, so if you're looking for short-term or great success, for great profits, for short-term projects, it's best to activate the east. Okay? Now, what are the bad sectors naman? What are the sectors that you would like to avoid? For the southeast, ito yung not so good, especially for the newly married couple. It's gonna cause a lot of arguments. So it kind of, if you're staying in this bedroom, it's best that you transfer for the time being, just for this month, to avoid or to lessen the arguments that you have. But if you couldn't, one way is to communicate well with your spouse. If ever that you're going through anything that is too much argument with your spouse, just think that it's temporary, it's not permanent, it's just the energy. Okay, so next is for the southwest. If someone is staying in the southwest sector of the home, you might experience financial stress this month. So and you might even experience stubborn subordinate in your office. So best to avoid the southwest sector to avoid those problems. And then in the north sector, you might experience, if you're staying in the north sector or you're activating the north sector, you might experience stress when it comes to additional family problems with your in-laws or your family. It's best to avoid that or not to activate that sector to avoid magnifying such issues or with your family or family issues. Okay, so here ko nagugulo. So but anyways, I hope that you learned something today, and I would like to thank you for my fans, because I've been getting good reviews, and I'm very glad that you enjoy my videos and you're learning from it and understanding how Feng Shui can affect your life and how it can actually change your life, and at the same time to understand the limitations of Feng Shui. But I want to thank you so much for always watching my videos. I did get some feedback and I appreciate them so much, and because of your feedback, I make sure that I look at topics that are very, very particular and practical, that we can actually use Feng Shui in our practical life, or in our daily life rather. Okay, thank you so much. I hope you learned something today, and I'll see you in my next vlog. Bye!